Hello friends, myself Purushottam. In this series, we will see fun facts about Python. In this video, we will see docstring in Python. When it comes to understand, extend and maintain existing source code, documentation plays an important role. If you maintain your source code and documentation separately, then keeping them in sync becomes difficult. But Python provides docstring, a way to keep your documentation and source code together. With Python docstring, you could write documentation in your source code itself. Let us write some code and then add documentation to it. So let me create one file, mymod.py, and let me create one function foo, which takes two integers a and b, and it's going to return me the addition of these two integers. Let me create one more file, main.py, and let me import mymod as md into this, and let's call the md.foo function with parameter 2 comma 3, and let me run this with python 3 main.py. You could see I'm able to call this function foo from my module with parameter 2 and 3. Now let us add documentation to this function foo with the docstring. So what is a docstring? A docstring is a triple quotes multi-line string. Quotes could be single quote or double quote. You can write this docstring just below class function method declaration or at the start of the module. Now let me add a docstring to this function foo. I'm going to use a triple double quotes docstring, and I'm also going to follow the numpy docs type. So let me add a description at the first line. This function adds two integers. Let me specify the arguments which we could pass to this function. First as a, which is of type integer, and the first number. Let me add second, which is also type int, the second number. Let me specify what it returns. It is also of type int, addition of two numbers. As I specified types of input and output, let me also modify and specify input and output type to the function. So to this function foo, I have added a docstring. Now let's see how we could access this documentation of function foo. There are two ways. One is a _doc attribute of the object, and second is a help function. Let's go to the main and let's access the docstring of a function foo with the _doc attribute. So let me call function foo dot _doc attribute. This will print the docstring for function foo. So let me run this code, and you could see it have print the documentation of a function foo. Let's access documentation of function foo with the help function. Help is a built-in function, and let me pass a foo function object to it. And let me run the code, and you could see help on function foo in module mymod, and it also have printed the documentation for the function. This is how docstring help us to write documentation in the source code itself. Now let me create a class student in the same module mymod, class student. Let me create a init function to it. It will take name, which is of type str, and age, which is of type int. Let's say name to name, age to age. Let me write a method def change, and it is going to change the name with the new name, and new name is of type str. So it is the self dot name will be changed to the new name. Now let's instantiate this student class in the main. Main have already imported my mod md, so let me create student s1 as a md dot student. I'll pass name to age is equal to 40 to it, and let me call the method change name to new name is equal to new name, and let's print s1 dot name and s1 dot age, and let me run this code, and you could see the name is changed to the new name and the age is 40. Now let's add documentation to the student class. We add docstring just below the class method or a function declaration. So let me add a docstring here just below the student class declaration. We say a class representing a student. Now let me add a docstring to the init method. Let's say student constructor. I'm going to say what parameters it's going to use. I'm using a Google Doc style. So let me say it is taking name as the first parameter, which is of type string, the name of the student. The second parameter is age, which is of type int, the age of the student. Now let me add docstring to the change method. Let me add description, change the name of the student. Let me add parameters to it with the Google Doc style. It's going to take new name, which is of type string, the new name of the student. Now let's access documentation for this student class with the help method. Now let me go to the main file and let me comment the existing help call. Let me call help on the student object. Now let me run the code. Now you could see the help function have shown the documentation for the student class. It have also shown the init method, and it have also shown the change method. Let us add documentation to the module itself. So let's go to the my mod. For module, we have to add docstring at the start of the module. So let me add a docstring at the start of the module. Let me specify the name of the module, my mod, and let's specify what it provides. So let me say function foo for addition, and it also provide a class student with name and age attributes, and we also specify how to use it. We could say you'll have to import my mod as md, and then you could access the function foo and the student class. Now let's access documentation for my module. Let me go to the function main and let me call help on the my module object itself. Let me run the code and let's see the documentation for the my module. The help have shown documentation for the my module in the description. My mod, what it provides and how to use it. One thing to note that it is also going to show documentation for all the classes and functions which are present in the module. So if you see, it is showing the documentation for class student with the init and change method. It is also showing documentation for the function foo. It is also showing description, the arguments it's taking, and the return type. I hope you understood what is docstring in Python and how to use docstring to write documentation in the source code itself. To find more such fun facts about Python, subscribe my channel and press the bell icon.